This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Wednesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this May 13th.
Tell them what happened to their son. Tell them how their son ended up riddled with bullet holes.
A week after Drejon Reed was shot and killed by police, the attorney of Reed's family is demanding answers. What she and his family want done in this investigation and the changes already in the works now from Metro Police. Mayor Joe Hogshead is expected to give us an update on the stay-at-home orders for Marion County today. We have the latest on the coronavirus outbreak and testing. And a group of high school seniors are on the front lines preventing the spread of COVID-19, while they continue to help in nursing homes despite the risk. But first, we want to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast. Todd Clausen is joining us right now from home. And Todd, as people step out the door this morning, what can they expect?
You know, it's pretty quiet here this morning, Lauren. It's not as chilly as it has been the past few mornings. We don't have those widespread frost advisories. There are a few across the northern part of this state, but overall with the clear skies, this morning temperatures are sitting in the 30s and 40s. That's a live look on the weather now. Camera network to the north from downtown Indianapolis, 46 in the Circle City, 45 in Bloomington, some 30s out there from Crawfordsville over towards Greencastle and Richmond at 36. So we'll have some sunshine this morning, but what's going to happen throughout the day is as a warm front starts to move north through the state, which will usher in obviously more mild air finally across the area, it's also going to bring some clouds. So we'll go from partly cloudy this morning to mostly cloudy later on this afternoon. The warm front really doesn't push through till overnight, so we're still on the cool side of things for the day today with high temperatures right around 60 degrees, and can't rule out the chance of a spot shower as that front starts to move through, mainly in the southern locations. But tomorrow, Lauren, we're in the 70s. In fact, some of you could get to 80 degrees tomorrow. More on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're going to take a look right now in the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 here at the North Split, where traffic is moving along up to speed. It's still pretty quiet out there this morning. You'll notice those barrels out there on the roads. Keep in mind, we still have I-70 closed in both directions between this spot and over on the east side. The eastbound lanes are scheduled to reopen tonight.
Just happy, he just wanted to be known. You know, Dre was...
Well, the parents of one of the men killed by police sharing memories of their son as they demand answers for what happened. Drejon Reed was shot and killed after police chase just 1 week ago. An attorney for the family of Reed tells RTV6 the family cannot begin to heal until they know exactly what happened to their son. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with what they have to say. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So the family says what they want right now is transparency during this investigation, and they also want to know exactly why their son was killed a week ago today. The attorney for the family, Fatima Johnson, says Drejon's parents, Jamie Reed and Dimitri Wynn, are not only concerned about the investigation, but also concerned about the people of Indianapolis. Reed's mother is a nurse and wants protesters to be safe as well as respectful, while balancing the thoughts of a high-profile police investigation, an upset community, and the loss of their son. Drejon Reed's family is also conflicted on how they now feel about police. His sister aspires to be a K-9 officer. His mother served in the military, and the loss of Drejon has them now caused this family to see police in a different light.
Some people have never had trust. They've never experienced that feeling that they've had before, where they trusted the police. And they trusted law enforcement, and they trusted the system, and they trusted that if a report came out, the report was right. And if a police officer said something, that's the way it happened. Some people have never experienced that. This family has. And so there's a lot of cognitive dissonance going on right now.
Johnson says it's too soon to know if the city's plan to issue body cameras to IMPD officers will heal the distrust from the community. Now, at a press conference yesterday, Reed's father says he doesn't think what his son did was right with running from the police, but he also believes that his son didn't deserve to die. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. That shooting still under investigation, but this is what we know from police so far. Drejon Reed was shot and killed last Wednesday after leading officers on a police chase to the northwest side of Indianapolis. Officers say that Reed ran away, did not listen to commands, and exchanged gunfire with an officer at the intersection of 62nd in Michigan. This incident was captured on Reed's Facebook Live, which is still being investigated. IMPD says they do not have body cams or dash cam footage of this shooting, but Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett says that IMPD officers will start wearing body cameras this summer. In a press conference yesterday, he also announced the creation of a use of force review board. It will include officers and civilians to review any use of deadly force by an officer and determine if the officer was justified. Mayor Hogsett says it's one of the ways the city and police department are working to build trust with the community. Leaders with the African American Coalition of Indianapolis agree this is a step in the right direction.
We still have lots to do in the process, but at least the steps to get us toward a greater degree of acceptability and accountability is being put in place.
Mayor Hogsett says these are changes that were already in the works before last week, but this was their update on the progress that may be more important now than ever. It is 5:06 this morning. Mayor Hogsett will discuss steps to reopen Marion County amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The county stay-at-home order is still in full effect through at least Friday, despite restrictions being eased across most of the state. Marion County has by far the most confirmed cases of that virus. You can look for live coverage on an update from the IndyChannel.com and also the RTV6 app starting around 10:30. More than 500 new COVID-19 cases and 33 new deaths have been confirmed by Indiana. That brings the total number of cases to more than 25,000. The state's death toll now sits at 1,444. More than 150,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the virus so far. Nearly 24 additional testing sites will open across Indiana today. The sites will be in several local counties, including Boone, Hancock, Hamilton, Marion, and Monroe County. You're encouraged to get tested if you have COVID-19 symptoms, if you've been exposed to the virus, or if you're in a high-risk category. The state-sponsored testing sites are free. You can register by going to lhi.care/COVID testing or by calling 888-634-1116. Dozens of businesses in Fishers are getting help to rebound from the coronavirus crisis thanks to loans from the city. The city has awarded $505,000 in loans to 73 companies, including the Lash Lounge on 116th Street. It was only open for 6 months before shuttering due to the pandemic. Co-owner Allison Lewis Lottie says that the city has gone above and beyond to help her business. She reached out immediately to make aware of her financial assistance and as well as the health and safety concerns.
I know owners of small businesses all across the country, and there's no one who's told me they've had an experience like that with their local municipality.
Our folks are walking the streets, knocking on doors, and just coming in and introducing themselves and saying, how can we help? Here's some information, here's some resources.
Lash Lounge plans to open next week. The hours will be expanded since fewer customers will be allowed inside at one time. Staff and guests will also be required to wear personal protective equipment. Well, they started out the school year as students, but now a group of high school seniors are helping on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. Our Alyssa Donovan has the details. Alyssa?
It's an introduction to the medical field most of these students could have never imagined. And at 17 and 18 years old, they're now helping patients through the coronavirus pandemic. Morgan Adams is one of 10 students from the Wabash River Technical Education Center who's now working as a certified nursing assistant, a program they completed earlier in the school year. While their classmates are taking it easy second semester, completing schoolwork at home, these seniors are working long hours in nursing homes across western Indiana.
At the beginning, I was like, oh, this isn't really fair. They get to sleep in. But then I thought about it, and I'm going there for a reason, and I'm helping out any way that I can. So it makes me feel better and feel like I accomplished something.
I'm extremely proud of them.
Their instructor, Jennifer Usselman, says she's seen her students mature overnight while assisting on the front lines of the pandemic.
They don't really talk about how stressful it is on them. They're talking about how stressful it is on the residents, on the people that they're taking care of.
Like all seniors, Adams missed her prom, and she missed a graduation ceremony where she would have walked the stage as a valedictorian. But she says the experience she gained working in the medical field during this time is irreplaceable.
I think it's making me more prepared and getting actually giving me more knowledge and stuff.
And I said, if you can do this and get through this kind of, crisis at your age, I think you're going to make it in the healthcare field.
The instructor says most of these seniors are going on to nursing school. She also says that since the pandemic started, she's had more students signing up for her health career classes. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Indianapolis Public Schools will hold virtual graduation ceremonies for some of its high schools. IPS says the decision to replace in-person graduation came after input from principals and graduating seniors. Arsenal Technical, Crispus Attucks, and George Washington, and also Shortridge High School will all hold their own ceremonies. Commencements will be pre-recorded and live-streamed for graduates and families to celebrate. You can find more information on the specific events on our website, theindychannel.com. Here at 5:11, we got to get a check of our forecast. It is Wednesday. Todd, what can folks expect for this midweek forecast?
Today's the last day of the cooler temperatures that have been around, Lauren, really since last week. With that said, it's mainly going to be a dry day for us with some increasing clouds. In fact, we're getting off to a cool but clear start on this Wednesday morning. As you grab that extra cup of coffee, we're looking at temperatures hovering right around 40 degrees, but we'll start off with some sunshine, and that'll give our temperatures a pretty good boost initially here throughout the morning hours. But then as the clouds start to increase, we'll kind of cap our temperatures from warming much more throughout the afternoon. So we're clear right now across the area. There's some rain down to our south. That could bring a spot shower into southern locations later on this afternoon. That's why high temperatures today will actually be warmer to the north compared to southern locations. 57 in Bloomington, 63 today, though, in Kokomo. We'll talk about the big warm-up heading our way starting tomorrow coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:12. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.
Shark Tank tonight and Friday on ABC.
Welcome back. Science labs across the country are racing to find a vaccine while trying to ramp up testing. We're hearing from Americans who are showing symptoms of COVID-19, but they still can't get a test. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the details.
I just feel this crushing, just constant weight, and it was hard to breathe.
Stacey O'Brien is one of many Americans who wants a coronavirus test but can't get one. The Massachusetts resident is convinced she's infected, but doctors told her she can only get tested if her symptoms worsen.
They point blank said to my face, unless it gets worse and you spike a fever, like that's what it is.
President Trump Monday declared the country has prevailed on testing, but some experts say the U.S. needs to test up to 30 million people every day to get the economy back to normal, far fewer than the 338,000 daily tests the country currently averages.
I just think it's still a lot of work to be done to be sure the right people are getting the right testing at the right time.
Some governors are now signing up legions of contact tracers to identify people who came into contact with confirmed COVID-19 patients. This week, Johns Hopkins launched a 5-hour course online to teach people how to be a tracer. New Jersey is hiring at least 1,000 of them.
We're going to have to use contact tracing unlike it's ever been deployed before.
And now, an inside look at Project Lightspeed, what pharmaceutical giant Pfizer is calling its race to produce a vaccine. At the company's lab in Michigan, a major investment for a product that's yet to be proven effective. Dozens of scientists and engineers are designing an assembly line to fill and package a vaccine once it's developed. The company began human trials last month and hopes to deliver millions of doses in the fall.
Making ends meet is a challenge for many people, especially right now as the country works to rebound. One way to do that is protecting your credit score, and knowing where you stand with that score can help. The 3 major credit reporting agencies are now letting you check your credit report every week for free. Normally, you can only check it once a year for free. This is a change. This change is in effect through April of next year at annualcreditreport.com. Bruce McClary with the National Foundation for Credit Counseling says taking part in deferment programs can help you get through this crisis, and they should not hurt your credit.
If you're on a forbearance program or with your mortgage lender, or if you're in a credit card payment deferment, your account should not show that you're falling behind or that you're missing payments. It should appear as though the account is paid up to date, and it'll show the balance, and it'll show the accurate status of the account.
But McCleary says if you are already past due when you entered the deferment program, that will still show up. Twitter says it will let some of its staff continue to work from home forever if they want to. That's as long as their role and situation allows them to do so. The decision reflects how some measures from the coronavirus could create a new normal for corporate America, even after the health crisis passes. Twitter says the experience of working from home has shown that it can work at scale. Working from home right now is Todd Clausen. Not the easiest when you're trying to report the forecast, but Todd, you're doing a great job. What can we expect midway through our work week?
You know, today's kind of that transition day, Lauren, and depending on where you live, is going to make a pretty big difference temperature-wise later on this afternoon as the warm front starts to work its way through the area. Now, this morning, we're dealing with temperatures that are pretty uniform. We're in the 30s and 40s across most of the area. 46 in Indy, 45 is the current temperature in Bloomington, and Muncie is currently sitting at 41 degrees. To the north, it's mainly clear. We're building in a little bit of cloud cover already in southern locations, and then you do notice a few spotty showers right along the Ohio River. So the warm front is to our south right now. It slowly makes its way northward throughout the course of the day. So let me walk you through today and even into tomorrow, hour by hour here using TrueCast. Notice the temperature disparity as we get into the afternoon hours today, and it has everything to do with cloud cover and sunshine, where the sun is shining later on this afternoon still. 62 in Peru as well as Marion, where the clouds move in. They're thicker throughout the day. Only 49 in Bloomington, 50 in Bedford this afternoon, and then highs by 5 p.m. are going to be in the 50s for everybody. So it's a little warmer to the north today, actually, than southern locations. Temperatures hold pretty steady throughout the overnight hours. What you're looking at right now is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then let me go forward and watch what happens and how quickly it happens. By noon on Thursday, temperatures are going to be in the 70s for everybody. I'll advance it into Thursday afternoon and early evening, about 80 degrees tomorrow from Indianapolis to the south. You see those cooler temperatures to the north. That is rain-cooled air. You too will get into the 70s before the storms start to move in during the day tomorrow for those of you in Marion, Hartford City, up into the Portland area. This afternoon, as that front starts to move in, it's just a hit or miss shower possible in southern locations. Then overnight tonight, another shower or two is possible. Tomorrow, most of the day is going to be dry. I mentioned the rain-cooled air. Watch how this line of storms drops down from north to south. So when you see the rain, obviously it's going to cool off. But right now, it looks like most of the rain should be in northern locations. As that rain and thunderstorm activity comes in, there is the slight risk of severe weather in far northwest Indiana for the day tomorrow in the afternoon hours. We would be looking at damaging wind being mainly the only threat with these storms as they come in. 75 on Friday because the showers are a little more widespread. That's why it's a little cooler. They become more scattered in nature Saturday and Sunday. And then once we get past Monday morning, a terrific forecast, Lauren. It looks like next week as spring has finally sprung here for more than just 1 or 2 days at a time.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are looking forward to that. Right now, as you're heading out on the roads, let's take a look at traffic. This is a live picture of US 31 near 136th Street up in Carmel. You can see traffic here is quiet. No major delays to slow you down, but just a heads up to drivers on the north side and in the Carmel area. Last night we had a gas leak reported at 116th Street between Rangeline Road and College Avenue. So the update as of this morning is northbound College Avenue and westbound 116th Street remain closed at that intersection due to the gas line problems. Southbound lanes and eastbound lanes have reopened, so that's just something to keep in mind as you're heading out on the roads on the north side or in Carmel this morning. Well, after almost 2 months of an empty park, parts of Universal Orlando will start opening up tomorrow. There still won't be any rides up and running, but some of the restaurants and shops in the entertainment district will be allowing customers in. Visitors will have to have their temperature checked when they get there, and they'll be required to wear a face mask. Universal says it will be enforcing social distancing, and venues will be limiting capacity. SpaceX is helping you travel to space during this pandemic. The company posted this video on Twitter announcing a new online space docking simulator. It puts you in the cockpit of the new Crew Dragon spacecraft, and the goal is to dock the capsule at the International Space Station. You can try it for free on SpaceX's website. As businesses are working to rebound from this pandemic, one local restaurant owner got a surprise boost. After the break, the heartwarming gesture one customer made to help workers at Ruth's Cafe. We'll be right back. Welcome back. A restaurant on the north side got a big surprise from one of their regular customers. Sandy Schimmel says the woman, who wishes to remain anonymous, came to pick up a to-go order from Ruth's Cafe on Mother's Day. That's when she slipped the owner $1,200, all of her stimulus check, hoping to help workers get through this tough time.
Ended up sobbing my eyes out with her. I couldn't believe she would do something like that. It was so kind.
Well, all the servers got to split the money, which Sandy tells RTV6 made the customer very happy. What a generous donation there, and hoping for the best for all of those employees at Ruth's Cafe. All right, as we head into Wednesday, Todd, we got to get a check of our forecast. You say today is kind of the turning point to hopefully some more spring-like weather.
Yeah, you know, finally, it's been a struggle this week with the temperatures. Yesterday wasn't that bad. We had the partly cloudy skies and temperatures that were in the 60s. But today is the day that the warm front's finally starting to work its way through the area. Temperatures this morning will be in the 30s and 40s with skies that'll be partly cloudy. We'll increase the clouds as the day goes on from south to north. That's why high temperatures today in northern locations are actually a little bit warmer. 64 in Peru and 65 in Muncie compared to only about 57 degrees today in Bloomington, with more in the way of clouds. 70s and 80s though tomorrow. More on that coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:28.
Live on CourtTV.com. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's been 1 week since Dre John Reed was shot and killed by IMPD officers. This morning, his grieving mother has a message she wants you to hear. Plus, the local group of high schoolers are battling COVID-19 on the front lines. This morning, we're taking a look at the program and hearing from those students who are serving our community. But before we get to those top stories today, I want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana on your Wednesday. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from home with what we can expect as we head out the door today. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Lauren, good morning. You know, it's not a bad day for us today. Temperatures will be in the 50s and 60s, so I know that's a little bit below normal, but we have a lot to look forward to. That is the good news. So what do you need to grab before you go today? Well, grab the sunglasses. Most of us will need the sunglasses throughout the morning hours, and then later on this afternoon. Unfortunately, for some of you in southern locations, the clouds will thicken up quite a bit, and you'll need a medium weight jacket here this morning because temperatures are sitting in the 40s and in some areas the 30s. 45 in Bloomington, 46 in Indianapolis, but there are a few 30s to the north. Kokomo and Anderson sitting at 38 degrees. Lots of clear skies to the north, a little more in the way of cloud cover in southern locations. And throughout the day today, we will have more clouds to the south. We'll have more sunshine to the north. The temperatures you see right now are for Indy, so Indy's right around 60 degrees. I do think we'll climb up into the low 60s to the north today. And in southern locations, unfortunately, with that cloud cover, you're a little bit cooler, but tomorrow is mild for everybody. We'll talk about that and the chance of storms as well coming up in just a few minutes. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic. This is a live camera at I-65 and I-70 at the North Split, where you can see traffic off in the distance there is traveling up to speed. Today is the day that we are set to have the eastbound lanes of I-70 reopened between the North Split and I-465 on the east side. NDOT tweeting out that that should happen in the evening hours. So this morning as you're heading out on the roads, you can still expect the closures to remain in place. Of course, we'll keep you updated. Well, Dre John Reed was shot and killed after a police chase just 1 week ago. An attorney for the family of Reed tells RTV6 the family cannot begin to heal until they know exactly what happened to their son. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with more on what they have to say. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So like you said, what they want to know right now is exactly why their son was shot and killed by an IMPD officer a week ago today. And they also want transparency throughout this entire investigation. The attorney for the family, Fatima Johnson, says Dre John parents Jamie Reed and Dimitri Wynn are not only concerned about the investigation, but they're also concerned about the people of Indianapolis. Reed's mother is a nurse and wants protesters to be safe as well as respectful.
She doesn't want anything to be done in her son's name that is not congruent with the foundation that she laid for her son. She's a very respectful person, and she lie is a curse in their house. So one of those old school.
Johnson says it's too soon to know if the city's plan to issue body cameras to IMPD officers will heal the distrust from the community. Now, at a press conference yesterday, Reed's father says he thinks what his son did was wrong in running from the police, but he also believes his son did not deserve to die again a week ago today. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. This morning, the police chase and shooting death of Drejon Reed remains under investigation. Marion County officials have an independent prosecutor and the FBI handling this case. A 21-year-old was killed 1 week ago following that police chase ending near 62nd in Michigan, and with what police say was an exchange of gunfire. At 5:35, we want to turn now to the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic. This morning, Mayor Joe Hogsett will discuss the steps to reopen Marion County. The county stay-at-home order is still in full effect through at least Friday, despite restrictions being eased across most of the state. Marion County has by far the most confirmed cases of the virus. Look for live coverage of today's update on the IndyChannel.com and the RTV6 mobile app starting at 10:30. Taking a look now at the latest information from the State Department of Health on the number of coronavirus cases and deaths. State health officials reporting 566 new cases of COVID-19. So far, more than 25,000 Hoosiers have tested positive since the pandemic began. The state also confirms 33 new deaths from the virus. COVID-19 has now claimed the lives of 1,444 people here in the state of Indiana. Well, they started out the school year as students, but now a group of high school seniors are helping on the front lines of the coronavirus pandemic. Our Alyssa Donovan brings us their story.
It's an introduction to the medical field most of these students could have never imagined. And at 17 and 18 years old, they're now helping patients through the coronavirus pandemic. Morgan Adams is one of 10 students from the Wabash River Technical Education Center who's now working as a certified nursing assistant, a program they completed earlier in the school year. While their classmates are taking it easy second semester, completing schoolwork at home, these seniors are working long hours in nursing homes across western Indiana. Their instructor, Jennifer Usselman, says she's seen her students mature overnight while assisting on the front lines of the pandemic.
And I said, if you can do this and get through this kind of, crisis at your age, I think you're going to make it in the healthcare field.
Like all seniors, Adams missed her prom, and she missed a graduation ceremony where she would have walked the stage as a valedictorian. But she says the experience she gained working in the medical field during this time is irreplaceable. The instructor says most of these seniors are going on to nursing school. She also says that since the pandemic started, she's had more students signing up for her health career classes. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Well, State House Democrats are calling for disciplinary action against State Representative Jim Lucas. Lucas is fighting back against the accusations that a meme he shared on Facebook is racist. The image shows black children celebrating, quote, free money. Lucas has not released an official statement, but continues to defend the post on social media. State Representative Robin Shackelford is one of several lawmakers who have released statements about the post. She's calling for Lucas's removal from 2 committees, including the Education Committee. Also developing this morning, former U.S. Representative Todd Rokita says he could become a new Republican challenger to Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill's re-election bid. Rokita issued a statement after the state Supreme Court ordered a 30-day law license suspension for Hill over allegations that he drunkenly groped 4 women during a party. Rokita says Republicans could lose the Attorney General's office if Hill is nominated at the June's state party convention. Hill's suspension takes effect on Monday. Did you see that? It was a spectacular sight in the skies over Indianapolis. The Navy's Blue Angels honoring those who work on the front lines in the fight against the coronavirus with that flyover Tuesday afternoon. The 6th FA-18CD Hornet aircraft made about an 11-minute flight over all sides of the city. The flight leader says this is all about showing how much the nation relies on those frontline responders and that we have their back just like they have ours. A very cool sight, Todd. I saw a lot of people posting videos of that as they maybe stepped outside their homes or stepped outside their place of business. So what a cool display.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. And that follows the Air National Guard from Indiana doing theirs just a couple weeks ago there at the beginning of May. So it's great to see something you don't see all that often here in central Indiana on a given Tuesday afternoon. Today, as we transition into Wednesday, we are looking at whether or not you need to have your sunglasses. Well, I think most of you will need them this morning. This afternoon, I put grab them because some of you will see sunshine and some of you, unfortunately, won't. For those of you to the north, you'll see more in the way of sunshine today. Southern locations, you'll see a little more in the way of cloud cover. So pretty big temperature spread today across the area where the sun will shine longer. Temperatures to the north here will be in the 60s. Look what happens, though, with thicker clouds and less in the way of sunshine. For those of you in southern locations, highs today will only be right around 57 degrees in Bloomington, 59 in Seymour. And then in and around the metro area, temperatures generally around the 60-degree mark. Tomorrow, though, starts a warm stretch of weather, but also a fairly wet stretch of weather. More on that, Lauren, coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. As the Hoosier State continues to reopen under the governor's back on track plan, employees are starting to return to work. After the break, we'll head inside 2 facilities to see the changes that are being put in place. It is 5:40. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Trusted partner in clean for over 70 years.
Welcome back. It is 5:43 on your Wednesday. Manufacturers here in Indiana are adapting to new social distancing guidelines in the workforce. This morning, Nightline's Clayton Sandell takes us inside 2 Indiana plants to show us how they continue to roll products off the assembly lines.
In Indiana, where the state has cautiously entered phase 2 of reopening, the manufacturing industry employs roughly 17% of the workforce. Engine maker Cummins saw early on how the virus would impact their operations.
It started for us back in January because we have a number of manufacturing facilities actually in Wuhan.
Peter Anderson is the vice president of global supply chain.
Over 80% of our suppliers at some point closed down, and we're still struggling with many of the suppliers.
Down but not out, they chose to close for 3 weeks to implement new protocols, reducing productivity but prioritizing safety as the state battled with more than 25,000 COVID cases and 1,400 fatalities.
I was nervous because I didn't know what kind of changes was going to happen, but I feel safe coming to work because all the different changes like the plexiglass in the bathrooms to make sure that when you're washing your hands, you keep your social distance.
This is something that everybody has been affected by. It is a fear for everyone.
The high stakes are also palpable in nearby Bloomington, where Catalent, a pharmaceutical manufacturer, has a plant. Here, Nikki Rader leads a line assembling what she hopes may be the key in freeing the country from the clutches of COVID-19.
We are manufacturing the COVID vaccination.
Manufacturers like Catalent are preparing for clinical trials as the race to a vaccine gains steam and finding themselves in an enviable position in high demand.
10 years ago, we were around 250 head count, and we've been growing rapidly to 1,300, and we'll be adding 300 more.
Dennis Johnson is the general manager of this plant. He's now reusing lessons learned from his years in the Army.
You marshal your resources and you stop doing things you don't need to do. And so essential right now is keeping our people safe, because without this team, we wouldn't be able to produce treatments.
Coronavirus hygiene requirements were already second nature here, given the exacting demands of drug manufacturing.
Everyone changes into clean room scrubs, a hairnet, gloves, booties. Whenever we get up in the morning, we are happy to come to work, but I think now you have a little more pride whenever you come to work. You know you're doing something big.
We've been lucky enough to speak to some companies that have been able to adapt, but there are a number of companies that are not going to survive this. And I'm wondering, do you see a silver lining?
I think the silver lining is some of the things we're doing today will help us as we go forward that we wouldn't have done if the economy just stayed going strong. It is going to force us again to look at how we make our machines with technology more productive, more efficient.
All right, as we walk out the door here this morning, we're walking out to some cooler temperatures once again across the area. And there's going to be a pretty big temperature spread today across central Indiana, depending on where you live. But it's the last day that we're below normal. Starting tomorrow, temperatures are up to about 80 degrees for most of us. But we'll also have some rain and storm chances heading our way as that warmer air starts to work its way in. Outside right now, we are sitting in the 30s and 40s, 38 in Greencastle, 45 in Bloomington, 41 is the current temperature in Muncie. To the north, skies still mainly clear, but you do notice on Storm Team 6 radar down here to the south, there are a few showers trying to sneak into the Bedford as well as the Seymour area. And they're part of a system that is down to our south. And what is going to happen today is this little band of rain that you see here near Springfield. That is a warm front, and this warm front is going to start to move to the north as we go throughout the course of the day today, and it's going to take a while to work its way through. So as it does, we're going to see a difference in cloud cover, and as a result of the sunshine to the north longer throughout the day, temperatures are warmer in Peru as well as Muncie, 60 in Indianapolis, a little cooler with more in the way of cloud cover down to the south and Bloomington over towards Columbus, but all those temperatures are still below normal. Now tomorrow, it's a completely different story. We start off around 57 degrees tomorrow, get up to highs right around 80 degrees. In fact, I think some of you will top 80 degrees tomorrow, especially if you don't see the rainfall and you can get quite a bit of sunshine into the forecast. But let's talk about those rain chances hour by hour on TrueCast. Today, there's a hit or miss shower again possible in southern locations. Most of us remain completely dry. Overnight tonight, as that warm front works its way through the area, there will be the chance of a few spotty showers, but most of tomorrow is still going to be a dry day. But what we'll watch for is during the afternoon hours, here's this line of showers up to the north. This is going to start to drop down to the south as we work our way into the afternoon and into the evening hour. So as I advance it, you see it move south. The question is, how far south does it get? So that's why tomorrow we are going to be dealing with the potential for some storms, but not everybody is going to see it. For tomorrow could be a warm day and a dry day for many of you. As far as the severe risk, you notice most of the area is in the marginal risk. Parts of the area, Lafayette over into the Petersburg area under the slight risk for severe weather. The main threat would be damaging winds as those storms start to arrive. Friday's a wetter day. It's a little bit cooler at 75, but then scattered storms in the forecast, Lauren, for Saturday and Sunday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is I-465 near the Sam Jones Expressway. Traffic is moving along up to speed both northbound and southbound there. On 465, no issues to slow you down. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout your Wednesday and keep you updated on any delays. Well, we've been showing you some of Indiana's best food places over the past few weeks, and you can find a lot of those products all in one place. And it's all in the heart of Noblesville. We're taking you local to the next level when Good Morning Indiana continues.
TV.com.
Welcome back. We're Open Indy introduces you to restaurants around central Indiana, open and ready to serve you. Indiana grown, shop local, and farm to table are all concepts a Noblesville business takes very seriously. RTV6's Brad Brown explains when you support all local market, you're supporting other hardworking Hoosiers as well.
Nestled on the Courthouse Square in downtown Noblesville, all local market is all Indiana all the time.
People have really shown up for support and to support local. It's been amazing how much the community's really come out and shown themselves.
Robin Wilson and her husband Mike are celebrating 2 years in business on the square, but Robin admits the past couple of months have been challenging.
Being here and just not having the same kind of pedestrian traffic and lights off in places, and knowing that the restaurants can only do carry out. It's been odd. Just a strange feel.
The name All Local is the real deal. The eggs and milk are from just up the road in Rusheville and Sheridan. The coffee beans are roasted in Cicero.
We just brought on Dark Side Roasters. That's been a huge hit. Everybody that's come in has been like, we are so glad you are carrying Dark Side Roasters.
The meats of all sorts coming from Hoosier family farms as well. They're keeping close relationships with each one of those producers.
Now more than ever, it is so important to really utilize what's inside your state lines? How can you help out your agriculture community right here in your own state lines? So it's very important to us to make sure we're getting good quality, clean food on people's tables.
The Wilsons are also supporting local artists and craft makers. Another touch of Indiana pride on display.
My hope is that people will continue that this pandemic isn't just a time where people are reaching out to small local businesses. I hope this is something that continues.
Robin told me cases of XXX root beer from Lafayette and Matou's egg rolls from Noblesville have been a couple of her hottest items. You can check the All Local Facebook page for product availability. They're open Tuesday through Sundays on the Courthouse Square in Noblesville. Let's give you a couple of updates about restaurants we've also covered recently. Quack Daddy Donuts in Pendleton has reopened their dining room. Alexa says they had a very busy first day. You can stop by and grab a dozen of your own. And the Oasis Diner is seating customers once again, spreading things out inside. Seats on their patio as well once the weather is right. And their breaded tenderloin is still one of the absolute best. You can visit them in Plainfield. Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. Well, Todd, a lot of people, as things are starting to reopening, are probably hoping they can get out and about, maybe dine outdoors at a safe distance. But it needs to warm up in order to do that and that to be comfortable. So are we going to get some warmer weather anytime soon?
You know, starting tomorrow, temperature is definitely going to be warm enough to dine outside if that option's available for you, whether it's at a restaurant in your backyard. The issue is going to be rain chances going forward in this forecast. You may have to time things out just a little bit. Now, today, we're still on the cool side of things. We're in the 30s and 40s this morning. Storm Team 6 radar is pretty quiet. There could be a few spotty showers in southern locations today. And southern locations, you probably don't quite get to that 61-degree mark. That's in Indy, and those of you to the north are actually probably a little better than 61 degrees today because you hang on to the sunshine longer. But tomorrow is when the 70s return and maybe the 80s. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Teachers are dealing with new stress as learning shifts from the classroom to the living room. Coming up new at 6 o'clock, we'll show you how one woman is helping teachers manage those changes. It's 5:57. Stick around. We'll be right back.